And for more, I want to bring in former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren. Michael, thank you for being here with us. We know this is a historic deal today, but the push for peace is certainly in the beginning stages here. Do you think Hamas is going to disarm and that this deal will stick?
Well, first of all, good to be with you. Very good to be with you, Kate. It is an extraordinary day, a very emotional day for us Israelis. The reuniting of these hostages with their families, but it's mixed with that sorrow. As you remember, as your reports have noticed, that Hamas has only returned 24 of the 28 deceased hostages, the remains, to their families. I actually know the families of two of those bereaved families who received those remains today. So I know the kind of agonies they go through. So we have a way to go. The 20 points developed by President Trump and his team, at Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, is an extraordinary diplomatic document. They were able to bring together disparate countries in the Middle East that don't agree with one another, much less with Israel, and get them to sign on not just the end of the Gaza war, not just a ceasefire and the return of the hostages, but a broader vision for peace throughout the entire Middle East. All of that process hinges on the next step. The next step is the demilitarization of Gaza and the disarming of Hamas. Will Hamas do that easily? It will not. Hamas regards its guns as essential to its DNA. It's a jihadist group. It's like telling ISIS and Al-Qaeda to get rid of their guns. It shan't be easy. But I think there are means at the disposal of President Trump and the international community to ensure that Hamas will be pressured to give up those guns, denying Hamas the ability to get cash, to get arms, to be able to steal humanitarian aid from Palestinian civilians. All that can be brought to bear on Hamas and perhaps persuade Hamas to disarm.
Hopefully. Do you have any concerns here that the Palestinian prisoners who were released could end up joining Hamas, making it even harder to get them to disarm in the end?
Of course. We know in the last major prisoner release, this is back in 2011, we released over 1,000 prisoners to redeem one hostage. And 80% of those released Palestinian prisoners went immediately back to Hamas, including Yahya Sinwar, who was the architect of October 7th. So yes, it's a risk that Israel takes in order to secure the release of the hostages. It's something that's essential to Israeli society. It's the source of our great strength. People think it's our weakness, but it's actually our strength. And it's a risk, and we're going to have to take it. And the international community is going to have to stand very firm with the president, with his team, in ensuring that the remainder of these 20 points, which are essential not just for Middle Eastern peace, but for world stability, will be implemented.
Do you think, like some of these hostage families do, that these conversations should be halted until all these remains are returned?
I think certainly the pressure cannot be relieved until the remains are retained. That Hamas has signed onto this agreement. It has now flagrantly violated that agreement at a cost of tremendous pain to Israel and Israeli families. That has to be rectified, and rectified quickly. And again, I would be a mistake to sort of let up on that pressure on Hamas by, again, denying it arms, denying it cash, denying it the ability to steal food from their own people.
Well, denying them arms, the president said Hamas would temporarily be a security force in Hamas.
Well, the arms were flowing in rather freely across certainly the Egyptian border before October 7th. That has got to stop. Qatari cash. Israel was facilitating the flow of Qatari cash with American backing before October 7th. All that has to stop. And I think that there are other elements in Gaza. There are clans, there are militias who hate Hamas. And there are many thousands of people who believe that Hamas has brought this disaster on the Palestinian people and will maybe seek revenge. I tell you honestly, if I were a Hamas terrorist, I would think twice before walking around the street with a gun.
Oh, interesting. And you also highlight there the importance of the other Arab nations to be heavily involved in this peace process. In your mind, though, what role did the U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities earlier this year play in today's agreement?
An immense role, Kana. In previous years, Americans, Democrats and Republicans alike, have been sort of vying with one another to see who could be more isolationist, who could withdraw from the Middle East. And the Pax Americana that existed in the Middle East for decades basically unraveled. Donald Trump restored the Pax Americana. He proved that America was willing to project power, first against the Houthis in Yemen, later against Iran with great effect. And in the Middle East, people respect power. They respect what they call the strong horse, not the weak horse. And so Donald Trump was able to portray himself as that strong horse, and that gave him diplomatic leverage. That combined with the personal relationships established by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, his envoys, were absolutely key in achieving this historic breakthrough.
Relationships that the president has been working on for a decade as well. Michael Oren, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate your expertise. Make sure you keep it right here on ABC News Live.